Called Code3 Conversations.
Hi, this is CeeCee Strong, and this is Code3 Conversations. Over the past 5 years, I have been doing filming and also video about my experience. And I've had people reach out with questions. So I need you to stick around because I'm going to do a recap of the past year and a half of recording Code3 Conversations. And I have an exciting announcement to make. So stay tuned. Stick around to the end. So I'm back, and I am so very excited to announce that I have been able to convince, well, you're going to actually hear me swear him in right here in front of you. My partner, my best friend, my husband, Eric Strong, has agreed to partner with me on the Code3 Conversations platform. So, Eric, are you ready for your swear in?
Well, yes. Hello, everyone. First of all, I was voluntold to do this, and I don't know that we were able to finalize my compensation package before I really get sworn in and agree to this. You know, you didn't agree to my terms just yet.
So I want everyone to know that I am making him right now raise his right hand, and he has got to swear in to his portion of Code3 Conversations. So that means that we are now tag teaming on this platform. And we have some exciting things that we have been building in the background, and we're so ready to share those things with all of you. So as you can see on my new amazing shout out, we're going to give a shout out to Big Tex, who did an amazing song about this platform. And the image that you're looking at is Eric and I in our headphones and our studio setup, where you're going to be able to tap in with us. And we have some people in the queue for interviews, and we're excited. But I just wanted to do a recap so people would know why we are doing this.
Yeah, you know, I truly, first of all, I'm kidding. Number one is, I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm honored to be a part of this. I think it's an important platform. I think people need this. I think what people really want is some transparency. They want us to be able to talk about and put some of these things in layman's terms so that people can understand what happens, why it happens. So I'm really looking forward to this platform. And yes, a big shout out to Big Tex, who did some phenomenal work on my campaign. I mean, the guy is talented. He is I don't know where he comes up with the what do I want to call it, the animation and the songs, but he does it so quick. So a shout out to Big Tex. And if you're looking for anybody to do some work for you, to put some songs together and some animations, please reach out in the comments and we'll make sure we get you his information, because we definitely want to support people like him.
Absolutely. And we'll include his contact information along with this, so you'll be able to reach out to him directly. So thanks, Big Tex. And we love the song. And as you all know, I love calling cadence. I sang in church, so I am a little shy, still sing in the shower. I've actually been able to sing the national anthem a couple of times as well. So I have... I got a shout out to Eric because full transparency, from my standpoint, I don't know anybody else that would have gone into what I consider the fire of what you did with running for sheriff of Los Angeles County. And I say that because so many people are critics, but I would wonder if they would be ready for that platform and the mantle of the negativity that comes along with it. And the idea of people stepping out of line and how dare you type of thing, kind of like this whole platform that got me started with how dare I speak out against wrong that was done to me. And I just can't figure it out why people are okay with negative comments like DEI hire, which I'm going to say I'm a dangerously educated individual. So yes.
Right.
But where do people get the negativity with someone trying to make something positive happen in the world?
Well, you used the word critics, and I'm going to use the word followers, and not necessarily followers in a good way, but they are just going to march to the beat of someone else's drum. They're going to believe anything and everything they say. And you know me, I don't mind throwing out names. Most of the critics were these people that were Alex Villanueva followers. They believe everything he says. They put it out there as if it's factual, as if it's golden, as if they have personal knowledge of it when they don't. But here's the other thing. Alex Villanueva has been shown to be a liar multiple times. His own psychological evaluation says that he lies. And so you really have to question those people that are following him. Like, what is their mindset? What is their actual mental capacity? That's what I think. But I think when you're looking at these critics, number one is they're people that are probably unhappy. They didn't amount to much or do much. And I'm just keeping it real. And they want to get on somebody else's page. And number one, all with the exception of a couple, they want to hide behind these. I'm Big Bad Bob 321. I'm take them to jail 485. And there are people, they're hiding. They have no profile pictures. They really don't have a platform. They're bots or trolls or whatever. They're keyboard gangsters, as I call them, that can spout out a bunch of stuff when nobody knows who they are. And they're probably the people that did very little to benefit the profession of law enforcement. So when you say critics and you say these comments, I don't want to give them a lot of credence, but I do want to talk about the cowardly ways that they come out, and especially to me, when you don't know the facts.
Absolutely. And I've been literally building this platform, and with the Spilling the LT, which was the book that I had the idea. And then I came up with, oh my gosh, I was betrayed. And I see it as betrayal because it was flat out lies. And people don't like when you call out groups of people who gather together for a concept, an idea, an agenda, whatever you want to call it. And they want to throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. And the norm, I think, is for people to not push back, because this is not fun to have people attack your character, to lie and say that you grabbed someone looking for tattoos, and because you grew up in a certain area, you have a certain mindset. And what I don't get are some of the people who, like you say, they have one or two followers themselves. Like I had a Timmy P with some numbers behind it yesterday. No one cares. Go enjoy your retirement. Well, if you didn't care, you wouldn't take the time to.
Why are you engaging?
Yes.
Why are you on my platform?
Exactly.
Taking your time.
Absolutely. And you want to create this image of a negative, angry Black woman. I'm just going to put it out there. And that is not who I am.
Right.
I equally, if not more, have people who message me privately. And just today had someone just totally, shout out to that person. And because I'm not posting those people, well, do they exist is the question people would have. But I'm not going to out them and have them go through some of that same trash.
And you know what? It's a two-way street. Number one is the people that are privately messaging you. Guess what? Those are the people that are using their real names. Those are the people that are, and there is a real fear of retaliation. You mentioned the word betrayal. We're talking, why is it betrayal? It's because it's coming from an organization. An organization is made up of people, but it's coming from an organization that you committed your adult life to, that you gave so much to, that is supposed to be in a profession that's about ethics and integrity and morals, but they betray all of that because you're not dancing to their tune. And guess what that tune is? It's really to one person. It's the person at the top. You know what I mean? And so there's so many people willing to betray their values and ethics in order to get a promotion, because it's just a tap on the shoulder type of thing. And as you mentioned, the sad part about it is that the people that do the right thing and speak out are oftentimes the ones that are ostracized.
Absolutely.
They're oftentimes the ones that are targeted, right? Because how dare you speak out? And here's the irony of it. You're supposed to protect the brotherhood and the sisterhood. You're supposed to protect, I support deputies. This is what everybody says. Oh, I support the deputies. But you're not supporting a deputy that was done wrong by other deputies. So which deputies do you choose to support? It's like, it makes no sense. Absolutely. I want to support deputies. You can't dare speak out about deputies, But when deputies do something wrong to the deputy, you don't support the deputy that was wrong. You support the one because we're not supposed to speak out about it. It's just such a ridiculous mindset, thought process, circle that makes no sense. But to your point, I just want to say this, Mr. Blue Falcon and all these other people that are out there that are making all these comments. Thank you for the engagement.
Yeah,
thank you
'cause it
for
helps.
making me so
Your
important.
algorithm.
Yeah, thank you for making myself and or CeeCee during her platform so important to you that we're living freely in your headspace. And guess what you're doing? You're increasing our engagement. You're helping our algorithm. So I appreciate you. Keep doing it.
Absolutely. And the more the outreach, and I just want to take the time to shout out to some of the people who have sent me messages. The one today was very heartwarming because it was something that I actually stuck my neck out in a sense or went to bat for someone. And that literally just, it had me excited about, there was the starfish and the story of the starfish and the man walking along the beach. And then he sees the man throwing starfish back into the water that have washed ashore. And he's like, you're not going to make a difference by what you're doing. And he's picking up another starfish and he says, hey, I made a difference to this one. What I think people fail to realize is that it is not every big wave that they're able to show of force, of look at what I did. It's the little snippets of time of people that you have poured into and invested in, and that you've helped for them to get a little bit further in their platform, sight unseen. And so many people are like, hey, let me show you how many of the people that I've been able to help, as opposed to this is their success. You don't need to know the person because there's a danger factor there. Sadly enough, it's a lot of retaliation. I've been dealing with it over the last 5 years. Trust me, I know it's not a comfortable feeling. But at what point do we stop the noise of all the negativity and we focus in on the truth of people's experiences? It's not saying that the profession itself is bad. It is not saying that there's not a need for us to have the authorities and the gatekeepers and the people that actually are guardians at the gate to protect so that people live safe. Mm-hmm. But that's not saying that you get to do whatever you want to do and treat people like crap. And when someone that is in uniform says it's okay to mistreat someone else in uniform, right, or to hide behind these false platforms, you're seeing it a lot with politicians. They don't like certain mindsets and the way people live, but then closeted and behind closed doors, they're living that very same life.
Right.
It's sad. It is disgusting because you're seeing it more and more and more. And I know it's not comfortable to be outed or whatever you want to call it, but why do the behavior in the first place? Why are you upset at the person that says, hey, you shouldn't do this to me because it's wrong? More upset with them than you are about the person that did the wrong.
You know what that reminds me of is that jailhouse mentality, that jailhouse term about snitches. And what is a snitch? It really is. It's a jailhouse criminal term that says, hey, I get to go hit the old lady over the head, knock her down, and take her purse. But if you tell on me of what I did, then you're worse than I am. So in other words, I get to do the wrong, but if you tell anybody the wrong that I did, you're worse than me.
Yep.
And the reality of it is this: society has bought into that. You hear people all the time, snitches get stitches. You don't hear people, oh, don't be a tattletale, until it impacts them. Like, what is a cop's job when you really think about it? A cop's job is to go somewhere and they get a call of a crime. And the cop's job is they want to catch the bad guy. They want to catch the bad person because what do they want to do? They want that stat. I want to catch the person that did it so I can put handcuffs on them and I can get the stat. But in order to do that, what do? You need somebody to tell you what happened because it's got to meet the elements of the crime, right? You have to have this victim tell you what happened.
Fact finding.
Describe who it was, identify who it was, and then what do? You go to witnesses and you say, tell me what you saw, tell me what you heard, identify who did it. So the whole essence of what law enforcement is about, or at least one of the primary goals, especially if you're in any kind of investigation, is to kind of technically have people snitch. That's how you do your job. I don't care if I get to a domestic violence call, the person has to tell me who their spouse or their partner is that did, and they have to tell me what they did.
Good point.
If I get to a robbery call and it meets the elements, you got to tell me what they took, how they created that force or fear, right? So we're telling, but then as soon as it comes to their people and their partners that do something wrong, as soon as it comes to deputies, and I'm going to say about some cases that I investigated, stealing on traffic stops. Oh, you're a snitch if you tell on your partner. Wait a minute. The whole essence of your job is to get people to tell you what happened. So it's like this oxymoron, and it baffles me that they don't see it. They don't understand it. You know what I mean? And in society, we bought into it. I mean, like I said, the whole term, hey, snitches get stitches. But let it happen to you. I take any deputy, any law enforcement officer that something happened to their family. They're going to be the ones out there trying, somebody better tell me what happened. You were here, you were there, you saw it, speak up, say something, do the right thing, right? Because now it impacts them personally.
And you can imagine, I would like to ask the people that are so critical about what I experienced, now that it has been shown that it was like, you imagine yourself in that position, and now you're able to prove that this was wrong. Mm-hmm. And yet still people are actually negative about it. And then I can only take that to one or two areas. Mm-hmm. Is it me being a woman in uniform? Is it me being a Black woman in uniform? And the moment you say that, oh my gosh, the pounce. I write about it in the book. I can't pull a card from a deck that's not handed. If I am dead to rights, not wrong in two different cases, what else could it be that's angering you about me? Which leads me to a question I have for you, because grudges have long reach when people are angry about history and things that have just irritated them so much that you live rent free in someone's head for 22 years? I just threw that number out there.
Right.
But what is it about grown men coming for your wife, me, because they are angry with you about something? And even bigger than that, grown men who are so pound their chest and so bravado, literally actually carrying messages for other men and not willing to do their own homework to find out what is happening.
Two things. I said it earlier. Followers. Second one is cowards. Simple as that. You want to say they want to carry the water for somebody else. They're just followers, right? And the other ones, they're cowards. And here's why. And I don't mean that they're cowards in a sense of they're afraid to do, to run into a dark alley at night. They're cowards because they're afraid to speak the truth. They're cowards because they're afraid to stand up for what they would rather be liked by their friends and liked by whoever that person is that's in charge so that they can get some type of benefit than to do the right thing. Than to just simply say, hey, wait a minute. Hold on. If what you're telling me about her is so factual, hey, why did she win in civil service? How did that happen? If what you're telling me about her is so on point, where are the facts? See, they're cowards. They don't want it. They just want to follow. They want to follow whoever that person is. And to be quite honest with you, if you ask me, again, it goes back to that whole thing. They're hiding behind some keyboard. They're hiding behind some screen. They're using their monikers of, big dog, whoever it is, and all of these different things. They'll never tell you who they really are. And when you're like that, sure, you could. It's like the little tiny dog standing behind the big dog barking, rah, 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 right? Yeah, I got a shield in front of me. I got some
I'm
protection.
gonna need you to
in front
come a little stronger with that dog bark. No,
you know,
that's even worse.
what? That's the little dog.
That's the little
That's
dog.
a little dog
Okay.
chipping, barking. You know,
Okay.
hey, you've seen those videos, right? Where they show the dog snarling and snapping at each other between the gate or between the
Yes.
door, and then they open the door
And
they
there's
both
no more fight.
yeah, and they both go the other direction and sit down and are nice, quiet. You close the gate again, they're snarling and barking and it's showing their teeth, and it's like, yeah, okay, you're snarling and barking because you got something in between you. In this case, it's a keyboard and a screen. But as soon as you're exposed and you have the opportunity, most of them are cowards. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to say anything. And the other thing is this, and I want to say this because in some of the people that were coming to me on my post, making allegations or claims that didn't know me, I said, hey, you say that you know all of these people who've told you about me. You don't know me because I could tell you don't know me. We've never worked together. But you're saying, oh, I heard about you. I said, okay. Get all the people that have personal knowledge, people that have worked for me, the people that have worked with me, the people that can give you firsthand experience. Let's get on a meeting. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's talk about whatever failures you think I have, whatever lack of leadership, anytime that I've thrown anybody. You're not going to find them, number one, people that have said that they have worked with me and I've intentionally, maliciously done them wrong. You're not going to find them. Number two is give people the opportunity to remove the gate. They go silent. They're
Absolutely.
not bold enough and they don't have what it takes to really come out and just really sit down and have a face-to-face, heck, Zoom to Zoom conversation.
And it took realistically double digits, close to 30 people. That's a pretty bad number of people being willing to be these witnesses to exactly what you just described, bringing nothing of substance other than stories that they had to tell. And like these critics, they have stories that are being passed to them. But then I am coming and saying, here's a document that disputes what just happened. I mean, that second case, the very day I'm interviewed, I'm like, wait a minute, that's familiar. And I actually go and put my hand on the exact thing that you're making up. I cannot make this up. And
Right.
yet people have a negative here's the term that I'm just loving so much. And it's basically because I grew up in Compton. They don't have anything else to actually say about it. Or you were a drill instructor. So it's your tone and how you talk to people. So you were a bully and all these people that you bullied. Where are they with any proof?
They don't have any.
Absolutely.
Which to me goes back to that word betrayal that you talked about, because what is a law enforcement agency supposed to be about? What do they tout? What do they always have on the wall? What do they want when they go into court? You should believe what I said and what I wrote because I have the badge. I am a police officer, and how dare you question my integrity? But yet and still we have all these repeated examples of when your integrity is violated or is questionable. And so when you talk about betrayal, let's even take all of the people that were interviewed out of it. Because what's important to me is going to the decision makers. Because the decision makers are supposed to be those people that have been elevated in rank, are supposed to have a higher level of understanding, responsibility, judgment, better decision making. And they continue to make bad judgment calls. But it's all because what? There's a motive. There's an ulterior motive. There is a order that's given. You will discipline this person. You're going to figure it out. And no matter how many times we showed them, you're wrong. No matter how many times we articulated and pointed out specific deficiencies, no matter how many documents you gave them, they kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And when I really look at it, and you look at the amount of work hours, the amount of money that the department wasted, why? For a simple thing of some retaliation. And guess what it takes me back to? Cowards. Because not one of those commanders, chiefs, assistant sheriffs, undersheriff, even the sheriff were strong enough to just unring the bell, and undo the wrong. They were all told it had to go all the way through the civil service process, even though they were all told. They all had the information. They all knew. But no, we're just going to keep going with this and keep going with this and keep going with this and keep going with this. It's cowardly. It's scary because, again, these are the people that the organization is in the hands of. And not only you, but we see it all the time, how many other people it's affecting.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm in uniform right along with, and like you say, not only did I give them, there was a open opportunity to have those conversations. There were responses to what I sent and what I gave. And it was always the company line of how I'm going to look into it, or, this is wrong, or behind the scenes, you saying one thing is one way of handling things. But when you are stepping out and being bold about it, and people are telling, hey, this was wrong, it is astounding to me, but yet not, based on what I was raised with. I'm not really shocked that people's behavior is to immediately tamp down, make up a different story. I've even heard that, oh yeah, her cases were thrown out. Mm-hmm. When?
Yeah.
Right. Like, are you serious? No, right. They weren't. And
somebody told me that all the complaints that I had against me were thrown away because I supported Luna. I'm like, what complaints?
Absolutely.
I didn't even have any. So I'm sorry.
Absolutely. But, yeah. And it takes it to the political arena that in order to win, I will say whatever I need to say during the time that everyone is paying attention. I'm going to scramble over here to this group of people and make them think that I am the golden ticket to success and change. And then I'm going to scramble over here to this group of people and I'm going to do the same thing. And the end result is to keep a certain same old mindset. And we keep the same old problems. And then it leads me to think about where I'm getting questions and comments like, this is a corrupt agency. So I'm going to flip it on the other side of that argument. Why would you bother to go into any type of profession like this? Hello, where are the people that actually want to be a part of a solution instead of a part of a problem? And wouldn't it be safe to think that people would not want me in this particular arena for this very reason, that I would remain in truth and tell the truth, and you're exposing too much. And we don't want people that look like you in that uniform in the first place. I just have to go there because if it's not my work, it's not my evaluations, which, by the way, came back outstanding after the fact and after being held and delayed. If it's none of that, then what is it? It all goes back to one common theme that I keep saying for sure. If you can't find anything wrong with what I've done, and I've already proven that I didn't do wrong, then what is it that's irritating you so much?
Right. Yeah, I think, to your question about people, like, you already knew this was a corrupt organization. Why did you go into it? Why did you do this? Well, first of all, I think it's important for people to know that, number one, this is still a profession that helps people.
Absolutely.
It is still a profession that is, when the honorable, correct things are done, it is a positive and it's impactful for society. And it's funny, some of those people that talk the most about, the profession and not being a part of it, and they're all corrupt, as soon as they're a victim of something, who are they calling? As soon as they want some help with something, they're still calling, for that help. And so, to me, there's another component that, both of us, when we started our career over 30 years ago, what we have and what we see right now on social media was not even there.
Absolutely.
You didn't have all of the news and all the information and all the bad traffic stops that you can easily look to see on social media now. But, there's also the good interactions, the people that are doing the right thing.
Tons of them. Yep.
Yeah, far more than are doing the bad thing. It's funny. It takes me to, but the exception, and I'm going to use that word, the exceptions to those that are doing the good things are the ones that are violating the trust, the ones that are making it look bad for all of us. They're the ones that are putting targets on everybody else's backs.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, in one of my videos that I posted during the campaign, somebody said, "Oh, you're building your campaign off the exceptions." I said, "Well, isn't it the exceptions that are causing police officers to get ambushed?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it the exceptions that have caused the public to not trust us? Isn't it the exceptions that we're paying out hundreds of millions, and in this case, in this day and age, billions of dollars for lawsuits, right? Isn't it the exceptions that are tarnishing the badge, but you don't want to talk about them?" That's what we need to fix, is the exceptions.
Yeah, you'd rather troll my post and say that you were dumb for going into that profession. And that's the same mentality. I'm thankful that there are people that look like me wearing a uniform. You don't know how many times it kept other folks from doing crazy things in your presence. Not only that, it's also giving back to a community that needed folks that they could relate to.
Right.
I can remember talking to people and they're just like, well, thank you, because you broke that down a little bit different, because they understood the conversation that I was having, the communication that I had with them. And I think people get so caught up in their opinions with lack of informative decisions and ideas.
Mm-hmm. And
rather than ask more questions, they give more statements.
Right.
This is it because I said it, and because I am, I'm going to tease because it's a guy. So I'm a 6'3" guy with broad shoulders, and I said it, so it had to be.
Well, that the young man, I won't say his name. Well, there's a common name, David. Kind of gave me a very impactful statement when he told us. He says, "We live in a society where most people mistake their opinions for facts."
Absolutely.
And they will. It could be their opinion, not one shred of evidence, not one shred of factual information to support it, but they will stand by it, and they will insult another person, challenge another person, and just because if you don't agree with them, you know what I mean? And so they think their opinions are facts, so I think that's a big part of it too. And
yeah, and I think I'm excited about Code3 Conversations and where it's going. And I did not, for any way possible, I honestly didn't think that you would stick around after the first couple times that I did this last year. No, you are.
I'm not.
Trust me, you will. You will, and you will like it. But there is such a need for what you have been able to establish through your platform. And I want to thank you, along with those who actually voted and knew, and they listened to you, and they came to some of those places and asked you questions about it. It is a sad state of affairs when you're thinking about the possibility of real change, and yet people don't really want it. They speak about it, they talk about it, and I know there's a lot of feuding at the higher levels within government, across the aisles, so to speak, but even in the local, you don't really see a whole lot of action and statements and comments about that. And the profession itself kind of deters that, because people are so vindictive and retaliatory.
Right.
And they have to it would be risking their current states of being in the uniform. I don't want to go to work and actually be wondering whether or not, because I support something that I truly believe in, now I'm going to actually have some of the same thing happen.
Right.
And it's sad because the platforms are there in social media, and people use them more as attack foundations.
Yeah.
I can attack people rather than have a serious question. If I had a dime for everyone that says, nobody cares, just move on. You're caring because you're here in the middle of my post. Scroll on, like the song, float on.
You had to have watched
away.
the video or read the post or anything to say that nobody cares. So again, just tell them thank you.
Yes.
I say thank you.
And then put yourself in my position. Consider this: if this was your wife, if this was your daughter, if this was your cousin, your aunt, your mother, and someone lied on them, and your mother had proof that it was a lie, and yet still people were coming after her. That means no matter what I do, you're going to critique it in a negative just because of who I am or the person that is actually, that's a double-edged sword. It's a
Right.
double attack.
And, as the saying goes, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Most people don't think about that. Most people never stop and look and say, okay, whatever she's saying, if it were true, would I want that done to my family member? And then use that as the basis or the foundation for where they go. No, most people have their biases, their prejudices, and they start throwing out stuff like, oh, DEI. If that's the first thing out of your mind, out of your mouth, or out of your first comment, who are you? Tell us you're not prejudiced by, not telling us you're not prejudiced, or however that saying goes. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous, and it's really scary in today's day and age how bold people are to just always want to be on the attack.
A lot of them are bold because they're not actually showing who they are.
True.
They are hiding behind the Dragon Ball Z profile picture or a picture of their dog or something else that can be sacrificed because they won't actually show who their faces are. Yeah, or a car, because that's like one that I see quite often. But I think the overall thing is that where they fail to really get under your skin is that if you are a decent human being, that's not your normal platform. Mm-hmm. You're not going to give to them the same thing that they give to you. Although I have been, kind of pushing back a little bit. I'm sick of this DEI thing because statistics show that I'm not one of the main benefactors of DEI anyway. Right. So it's like, if you really were doing your homework, you would see that that's a really negative statement, which makes no sense. But here again, I think because it was so unorthodox for me to speak out about any of this, it's not a normal. Right. And there are more people messaging me that I don't even know. I went back and I don't get on Messenger much. And I found at least 15 people outreaching with questions and wanting to know, how did you do this? Right. And it shows that there is a platform and a foundational need for people to know that. And I'll take this as we get ready to wrap up. I'll take the opportunity to say to those of you who have experienced something similar to what I have, or even worse, because I've heard some stories. Let me just say to you that never let people make you feel bad about speaking out about truth or living and existing in truth. Right. It takes courage. It takes you tapping into your root at its core integrity. And those without it are the ones that have nothing but negative to lend. Because they could always reach out, like some of the people I don't even know and I've now met and been able to work with. Yeah. They could reach out and actually have a conversation, and I'm willing to do that.
Yeah. And not only that, I'll add to this that also those people out there, I had a person on a comment say something after we kind of went back and forth on some comments. I too am starting to kind of reach back out and, kind of go back with them a little bit. But I had a person make a comment like they claim to be victims of racism. Because you've never been a victim of it, does that mean it doesn't exist? It's like you telling that to somebody claim to be a victim of a robbery. If you've never been robbed in your life, does that mean nobody else ever has?
Absolutely.
How stupid, maybe I shouldn't use that word.
Oh, I mean, it is in the
ignorant.
Dictionary.
No, how stupid are you
Yeah.
to really use that as part of your argument?
Yeah.
That, they claim to be, really? Okay, so let's just say this. Number one, maybe you don't believe it exists. Number two, maybe you've never experienced it. But does that mean that nobody else ever has?
Absolutely.
And so it just, these negative people, these negative Nellies, as I'll call them, with their comments, I'm going to go back to this. They're the cowards. They're the followers. But to your point about the people that have reached out to you, what it also tells us is that there are a lot of other people going through similar things.
Absolutely.
You're not alone.
Yep.
The organizations and the people that are running them are doing this to other people. there are other people out there that need help. So you know what I mean? You're giving them a model on what to follow, on how to do things, on how to speak about things, on how to document things, on how to expose different things. And this is the only where I think any change is really going to happen. You know, people do what they can do because they feel like they're going to get away with it.
Absolutely.
You know,
and they
leaders,
gain support, unfortunately, from people who are just as shady or full of shenanigans or looking to mistreat people. And I love the fact that everybody just those that are in that group of negative naysayers, it's almost the same comments every time. The little clown emoji. It's like, you're nothing but a clown. And it's like, wow, that's a really harsh insult.
Right.
Okay. It's childish if you think about it. It's
It really
immature.
is. But these are the same guys that are telling me, I'm part of the varsity team. I'm like, dude, can we get out of high school?
Yeah.
Can you get out of high? You're part of the varsity team. Great. I was part of the varsity team. I was a freshman and a sophomore. You know what I mean? So what are you really saying? Go to college. I mean, be part of the sorority team. I don't know. Just grow up, you know? But they really are childish.
I like the little get out of high school, go to college.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I can't tell you how many times this is varsity.
And I'll brag a little bit. Go to college and get a master's degree.
There you go. Go to college,
at the highest level, with a summa cum laude.
How about this? Accomplish something other and be something other than what. Don't let your whole identity just be who the badge.
Yeah. I say that
what a lot of people are.
People wear the uniforms, the ones that want to actually have an impact with change, and then those who don't, the uniform wears them.
Absolutely.
It becomes
they didn't
everything.
Know who they were before they put their uniform.
And I have people to this day I know have probably 2 or 3 ex-wives with multiple homes that they've had to give up because this was all they had. This was their livelihood. And, you know, I rooted myself in this and my folks that I hang out with, and there was nothing else. And I think because I was so quiet at work and I just kind of did my job and I stayed out of the fray, most people thought I was either angry about something or, you know, you always have a frown on your face. I even had someone tell me, well, you look so serious when I was a drill instructor walking across the campus. Like, what should I be looking like?
Right.
You know, joking around and playing when it's a serious setting. But people are going to have their opinions. People are going to have something negative to say, but the Code3 Conversations platform is just that. We'd like to invite people that actually want to have some of those deep conversations in reality, that most of the limelight goes to the people who are doing the wrong and the negative. And then those people, even while doing wrong, have the time to stop and scroll on someone's page and be negative to even help bolster their wrongdoing rather than trying to be a part of the solution. So I once had someone ask me, would you do it all over again? And I said, absolutely.
Right.
And I know that sounds crazy to people, but you cannot dispute some of the successes that even though I was a DEI hire, I was one highly selected for some really good stuff that will be evergreen and forever out there on that platform. And I shout out to all the good law enforcement officers out there that are doing the job well and doing it for the right reasons. You do have more people supporting you than you could ever realize. For those of you who are not, you have a lot of the limelight because people love sex, violence, crime, all of those type of things. And that's what sells.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so you can go ahead and raise your right hand and you can repeat after me. I Eric Strong.
I, Eric Strong,
pledge to remain with the Code3 Conversations platform for the duration of my contract.
Code3 Conversations platform. And what you keep saying in whatever.
You never had a choice the whole year.
I didn't get to see the contract. You just told me it was okay.
I signed your name.
You signed my name like you do on our checks and stuff.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to it, and I think this is a good time to invite folks back
Absolutely.
for some more conversations, but more importantly, for some real sit down
Mhm.
conversations. And I'm dead serious when I say to those detractors, I'm dead serious when I say to those people that want to get on there and be the negative Nellies, you come on here, let's have a real conversation. You know what I mean? Because conversations and these type of conversations isn't always about who you agree with. You know, I want to sit down with people that are not like me. I don't want just concurrence, you know, but let's have that respectful conversation. And if you're hiding behind some, you know, keyboard and screen out there, hey, you know what I mean? Show who you really are. Come on, let's have a conversation about whatever topic you want to have about, whether it be the campaign, whether it be about current events, whether it be about, you know, who you think the best candidate is, all that kind of stuff. And hey, I'm all for it.
And you can reach us right now for, at least for now, you can feel free to send an email that both of us will be able to access by sending it to WeStrong230. So I'm going to spell that out, WESTRONG230 at gmail.com. If you're interested in learning some more, if you want to actually be a guest on the platform, we welcome your outreach. And that's once again, WeStrong230 at gmail.com. You can also learn more about what led to all of this at CeeCeeStrong.com. And we welcome your comments. Even Timmy P and Big Dog 212 and what is all those other folks?
All of them.
So please reach out to that email. And Eric, thank you. Thank you for being willing to actually partner with me in this. And there are some great things on the horizon. And that also means you got to help me too with the clients that I'm working with, because I just had 2 successful wins with guiding some people in how they would approach some things they're dealing with. So
right. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
All righty.
All
so
right.
Eric and CeeCee Strong, Code3 Conversations. I like the ring and the sound of that.
I think it should be CeeCee and Eric Strong, Code3 Conversations.
I like that. You've always given me that honor on the platform, but I don't know. I always honor my husband, but okay.
But
we'll fight over, we'll arm
it,
wrestle over it.
Code3 Conversations, there's 2 C's in it. And the 3 is a backwards E. So I think CeeCee, anyway.
So this is
right.
CeeCee.
Yes, this is Eric. Right.
This is Code3 Conversations. We're out.
Have a good one.
Code 3 Conversations.